Hello, my name is Douglas Bloch. I'm an author and depression survivor. Welcome to your Depression Recovery channel, where each week we talk about practical tools and coping strategies to heal from depression and anxiety. Today I want to cover the topic 4 myths or misperceptions about mental illness. Here is myth number 1. There's no such thing as a mental illness. It's all in your head. Now, probably this myth or misperception is caused by the fact that we don't really understand the biological causes of most mental illnesses. On the other hand, we don't understand the biological causes of headaches, and yet they certainly exist. If people believe that a mental illness is not real, then they will tell you to snap out of it or get over it. Now, this can be very hurtful because it makes you feel like you have a defect or you're weak in character. But the fact is, there's not a whole lot of differences between physical illnesses and mental illnesses. They both have a course of action, they both run in families, and they both respond to treatment. So the major 3 psychiatric disorders, anxiety, depression, psychosis, they really are not too much different than any other illness that we know of. Myth number 2, mental illness is rare. Because of the stigma that is associated with mental illness, few people talk about it openly with family or friends. Yet, in 1999, the Surgeon General of the United States came out with a report. It was quite startling, and it appeared on the front page of the New York Times. It said that in any given year, 1 in 4 Americans is being treated for some kind of mental health disorder, and over the course of their lifetime, 1/2 of all Americans will have been treated for this disorder or have had it. So half of people over the course of a lifetime, and 1/4 of the people in any given year. So this gives you a very important message if you are suffering from a mental health disorder, and that is you are not alone. Myth number 3. If you have a mental illness, you must be lazy, crazy, or dangerous. Now, the media very rarely discusses mental illness, but when it does, it seems to only focus on the most violent cases. This is certainly true in terms of the man who killed John Lennon. And so it's very easy to think that people who are mentally ill or have mental illnesses are violent. But this is certainly not true. The vast, vast, vast majority are not. And when I was in the psychiatric ward of the hospital and got to know some of the patients, they were just like me. I mean, you couldn't even tell the difference between them and the staff in many respects. So people with mental illnesses are no more dangerous than you or I. Thus, you should have no shame about having a mental illness such as depression, anxiety, or bipolar disorder, because that doesn't really set you apart from anybody else. Myth number 4. Psychiatric diagnoses are unreliable and suspect. Let me begin by saying the purpose of a psychiatric diagnosis is not to label a person, but to find the right treatment. The truth is that psychiatric diagnoses are no more reliable or less reliable than diagnoses made by other medical practitioners. Sometimes patients may have a hard time opening up and giving you the entirety of their symptoms because they are fearful or ashamed, and so they only give you a part of what's happening. And this can mean it might be more difficult for us to make a psychiatric diagnosis than a medical diagnosis. At another time, their internal symptoms vary from one episode to another or from one time to another, so a psychiatrist might get 2 different pictures, which may cloud the diagnostic procedure. For example, during my breakdown of 1996, 2 very competent psychiatrists differed in my diagnosis. The first said I was suffering from agitated depression and therefore should be on antidepressants. The other person said, no, he's suffering from bipolar 2. Antidepressants would be the worst thing you'd give him, so we need to put him on a mood stabilizer. They couldn't agree. The same exact thing happened in 2015 during my latest breakdown, when again, 2 competent psychiatrists had a difference of opinion between one said agitated depression, the other said bipolar 2 depression. Now, given the similarity of these 2 types of disorders, it's easy to see why there might be a difference of opinion. To basically resolve this disagreement, I've decided to cover all my bases by taking an antidepressant and a mood stabilizer, and so far so good. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank the Providence Day Treatment Program for supplying the information that we used. If you want to learn more about my work, my website, healingfromdepression.com, or my YouTube channel, please click on the links in the closing credits. And until we meet again, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery. Thank you.